1, had a really fun interaction with the guest tonight. And I can't help but feel he was openly disrespectful towards me due to my gender. I am the supervisor on shift this evening, so this particular gentleman has been staying here for a few weeks, and our government is paying for the room as he is under a refugee program from another country. The government will cover the cost of the room for a certain period of time, but after that time is up, if the guest wishes to extend it, it is at their expense. So this gentleman wanted to book one additional night. I had everything set up for him, and he wanted to use his debit card on his Google Wallet. I informed him our machines are finicky, and debit over Google Wallet probably won't work. As I predicted, it didn't work, so I asked him to please bring the physical card down. He came down about 20 to 30 minutes later, and he said he had another card on his phone, but it was an international card, so it should work. So we tried the card, and it went through on the machine as approved, but it did not show as approved in the system, so I told him I would need the card number so I could manually input the authorization. When going to manually put it in, I forgot to adjust the authorization amount from $100 to the $111.15, so it ended up authorizing the card again for the additional $11.15, when I posted the actual charge, which I did not notice. When he went to leave, he asked if everything was good to go and asked if he would get charged again. I said no, he would not. He came back about 5 minutes later and was upset because I told him he wouldn't be charged again. I looked at it and apologized and told him the card had been accidentally authorized as I put the wrong amount in when I put the manual authorization in. But I informed him that the authorization was not a charge and would return back to him. He started arguing with me. He said that I knew that I had done this and I conveniently forgot to inform him when he was at the desk before. I said I honestly did not realize that it happened, but I was sorry, and that it was no worry as the money would return. He would not let up and kept saying I charged him more than I was supposed to, and that it was a charge and not an authorization. I let him know that the amount he would pay would be $111.15, and that the other $11.15 would be returned back to him. He was yelling at me and said I was treating him like a stupid child and that nothing I was saying to him was making any sense. He yelled at me that I needed to offer him a better definition of what an authorization was, and that I'm not very good at my job if I can't provide him with that. But every time I try to speak or explain to him, he would talk over me and say, "Nope, this makes no sense, you're just repeating the same thing." Like, bro, what do you expect? You keep asking the same question. I'm going to repeat the same answer. He kept telling me I'm not good at my job, and honestly I was visibly upset because I'm not a robot, and don't enjoy being berated or insulted. It's also important to mention that my male colleague was also working checking in another guest, and he kept looking to him waiting for him to chime in. I did all I could to show this man he would not be charged. I even printed him the receipt showing as much. I finally had enough, and I told him if he was not willing to accept my answer, then there was nothing further I could do for him, and that he needed to go back up to his room. I passed him my manager's card and said you can come and talk to him tomorrow about it if you would like. He said he didn't want the card and wanted me to answer him. I told him that if he didn't leave on his own, I would call the police and have him removed from the property, as this is bordering on harassment and I am done with the conversation. He said, "Why would you call the police on me?" Honestly, at this point, my frustration was taking over, and he said that I was taking all of this too personally and that I'm too emotional for my position if this is how I act. I'm sorry, I'm not a robot, and can't hide when I'm frustrated because I'm being yelled at for no reason. Finally, he stepped away for a moment, only to come back and start up again. He said, "I know you said you were done, but if you can just explain to me in a calm, non-emotional way." I'd had it at this point and said, "Sir, I am cancelling the reservation and refunding the money. If you would like to rebook and pay with someone else, you are more than welcome to. But I am finished with this conversation and with you." He turned to my colleague and started asking him, and I told him that if you need to talk to someone about this, it would be me because I am the supervisor on shift, and I have already told you this conversation is over. He continued on, and I literally had to walk out because he would not leave. He still stayed at the desk and talked to my colleague, before coming to our back office door and knocking on it. I was on the phone, thankfully, and our shuttle driver answered the door. The guy asked if I was in the back and wanted me to come out for him to apologize. I'm honestly not sure that's what he wanted, but he went up to his room afterwards and I haven't seen him since. I asked my colleague if I was rude or talked over him and he said no. I don't know if I'm just taking it too personally, but I feel as if he was looking for a non-emotional man to give him the same answer, which my colleague did. It is so frustrating not being respected, not only in position but as a person. Honestly, I'm so done with this industry today. I did not wake up to have a fight with some guy about $11. 2. 1:30 a.m. pre-audit. I've been working for about a month and a half, and have got my job done very well. I do the night audit. I do breakfast in the morning. I don't book reservations except for physical walk-ins, and if we're full, I have to walk them to another hotel further down the road. I get a call from a room on the 3rd floor. There's youth hockey in town, and they're about half of our rooms this weekend. This lady had booked one night, not two like the other parents, and wanted to extend her stay the second night, except we're full. 45 out of 45 rooms were booked. One cancellation, but that was for the current night and not the night she needed. At my hotel, you need to speak to our sales manager in advance to actually book as a group and get a group rate. They did not do that. She claimed they spoke to someone in December, but never got booked as a block. They all went via a booking site. They always book online with this site. Most of the group got the mobile discount you get through sites like that, but this lady has RROD, which is the nothing special basic lowest price without specials or discounts. Opera is telling me that there is one singular room, a one king-size bed for $250. She gets mad that I can't just materialize a double queen room for her because she booked incorrectly. Knowingly incorrectly. She said she wasn't sure she was staying the full weekend, but now she knows she is. I do a little cheesing and find a 2 queen-size room for $250. She asks for a discount. I have one discount I'm able to give, if we're almost booked, and it's 10% off. She asks, "What about the group discount?" I explain there is no group discount as they booked independently, and she insists that they booked as a group, because they're all on the hockey team and booked at the same time. That does not count. Then she asked if she can get the same room, the room that is sold out, the next day. I tell her, sorry, no, that's not available as someone has rented it for tomorrow night. I wind up giving her the QQ room I just found, just to get her to relax, and she got moved to a correct QQ room in the morning because the first shift lady knows more about reserving than I do. But before all that gets sorted, she starts on the, well, my hockey team is giving you a lot of business. Girl, I do not care about the hotel's business. I even offered that the other hotel nearby would probably have a room, and she insisted that she stay in that specific room at my specific hotel, even though the other hotel is 7 minutes away. My hockey team's business. I am sure the other hotel would love that business too. It does not matter to me. I just work here. 3. I don't know if it's just my resort that gets this or if it's everywhere, but so many people come and check in with service dogs, and it is so painfully obvious that they're not really service dogs. This week alone we've had 2. I had one guest come up and tell me she has a black poodle golden retriever mix. She said it was for medical alert. This dog wasn't with her during check-in. When we ask her the 2 questions we are legally allowed to ask, she gets angry and threatens us, saying we'll get in trouble for asking those questions. We have to pull out our booklet and literally show her the law for her to give up. When her husband brings it in, it can't even listen to being told to sit. Later it even jumps at other guests. It can't be quiet in the lobby and more. But what can I do? Today we get another unidentifiable breed of black dog who whines at every single person coming into the lobby, completely ignores their owner's commands, and is even pulling their owner away from the desk during check-in. These are just the most recent. My personal favorite was the person who left their toy Yorkie locked in their balcony on the 14th floor while they went out for dinner and got drunk. When confronted on not being allowed to do that, they screamed at the desk because apparently we were breaking the law by telling them they can't do that, and they yelled at us for having the audacity to ask the 2 questions we are legally allowed to ask. They said they were going to sue us for breaking the law. This dog weighed maybe a few pounds. If that dog jumped or rolled, it would have fallen off that balcony, as the railing has gaps wide enough for it to fit. We were getting noise complaints from rooms 6 floors above them. They said that the dog was their whole world and their princess. And at that, considering you were more than happy to actually never take it out and let it pee off the balcony. And considering you were comfortable taking the risk of it falling 14 floors while you were out drinking for hours on a cold and windy night. Why do these people even bring these animals? What's the point? We know you're lying. You're making life harder for everyone, including people with actual service animals. I know they probably don't care at all, but still. Hellfreezer's note. Right, the 2 questions you're allowed to ask, for those who've never heard of it before, are, is this a service animal, and what tasks are it trained to perform? However, service animals don't act up. They behave themselves, they're trained to obey their master's commands, they're trained to perform whatever specific task it is. They don't get left alone because they have a job to do. They should be with their owner at all times, really. So if the dog isn't behaving at check-in, is being left alone in the room, you could probably kick them out if your hotel doesn't allow animals otherwise, or if they do allow pets but charge a pet fee, charge them that pet fee. If they threaten to take you to court, let them. No lawyer worth their salt's going to take that case, and even if they did, the judge would dismiss it. Hashtag this is not legal advice. 4. I've been waiting here for 10 minutes. No, you haven't. Why do people say shit like this? I know how long I've been away from the desk. I'm not going to just forget that I walked away 3 minutes ago because you claim to have been here for 10. Do people really think I'm going to believe what they say over what I did? And what is the point? You want another towel? Do you think I'm going to feel bad and give you a super special towel for your inconvenience? I had a guest get mad at me because I was not at the desk when he came down. I was gone less than 5 minutes, and on my way back I hear yelling from the lobby. I get down, and there's a guy. Asshole guest. Late 20s, early 30s in the lobby yelling, "Hello, is anyone here? Does anyone work here?" Loud enough that I know he is disturbing the nearby rooms. I keep my cool, apologize for the wait, and ask what he needs. He goes off about how he's been waiting for 10 minutes to get more towels, while I have been in the back masturbating for the last 6 hours. First, I've been gone 5 minutes. Second, I haven't been here for 2 hours yet. Third, I take care of that at home. Fourth, 6 hours. That's both very impressive and equally horrifying. Ouch. So I apologize again, tell him I will bring towels to him right away. He says his wife is waiting, and then just kind of stands around in the lobby, waiting. I ask if he wants me to bring them to him or to the room. He gets upset and says the room, his wife is waiting, and then continues to just hang around. Suspicious, but whatever. I get towels to his room, get back to the lobby to find someone has taken all the business cards off the counter and thrown them all over the lobby. So I call his room, no answer. Call again, no answer. Call again, no answer. Call again. What? Sorry to disturb you, but after I left the lobby, someone threw our business cards all over. Would you know anything about that? They were fine when I left. I didn't do anything. So if I review the cameras, I'm not going to see you throwing them all over. I said I didn't do it. All right, well, then I'll review the cameras, and when I see it wasn't you, I'll knock 10% off your room rate for your inconvenience. And if I do see you doing it, you'll need to find a different place to stay for the night. Fine, I'll come pick them up. Thank you. He then comes down and picks them up, but then starts yelling at me about how he had to wait around for 15 minutes while I was in the back masturbating. I don't know what his preoccupation with that is. At this time, I've lost my patience. and I'm done being nice. I tell him I was gone for less than 5 minutes, so there is no way he was waiting for that long, and even if he had been, it's 1 a.m., and I have other things to do. It doesn't justify his temper tantrum. Then he starts yelling that he wants to talk to a manager and demanding I call a manager. Fine, let's call my manager. So, I'm on the phone to my manager. Hey, Devin, sorry to wake you. I'm just calling to give you a heads up that I have a guest that was in the lobby yelling at the top of his lungs because I was in the back for a few minutes taking care of whatever I was doing. No, not that. He then threw the business cards from the counter all over the lobby and is now in the lobby again, screaming and yelling. So I'm just calling to let you know I'm kicking this guest out. And if he doesn't leave, I'm calling the police.
Okay, I trust your judgment. You have my support.
End phone call. You can't kick me out. I paid for the room. And then you have been continuously disruptive and disrespectful to myself and the other guests who are trying to sleep. You can leave, or I can call the police. Call the police. They won't do anything. I've paid for the room. I'll end this quick. I called the police. His attitude changed real fast the moment I dialed the police. I'll be quiet, I'm sorry, type of shit. Turns out he was there with his wife and 2 kids. I don't care. The 4 of them can find somewhere else to sleep, and you're still paying for your room. Wife was not happy on their way out. Anger was directed at him, not me, so it seems like she was used to this kind of behavior from him. Moral of the story: don't be a dick, and apparently, I am a masturbation god. 5. I work night audit at a casino hotel. There are 3 vending machines about 5 feet to my left. They are the bane of my existence, but I have to help people multiple times a shift. Every shift, figure them out. Most of our guests are older people who refuse to learn how to use these machines. They often come up to us asking for pricing, as if we will know every price of every item off the top of our heads. I hate dealing with all this stuff, but we don't have a choice. Only 2 of the 3 machines are really an issue, and they each have their own set of challenges. The closest machine is a drinks machine that has an arm that moves to where the drink is, then moves the drink down for you to grab it. Some people cannot grasp this technology and are so goddamned impatient they don't read the instructions right in front of their face. To use the machine, you tap the touchscreen and enter a 3-digit number of what you want to buy. It gives you the price and you press checkout. You can then either swipe the card or put cash in or coins. This machine is the one people seem to struggle with the most. It has instructions on how to do it, but they never read it. They don't tap the screen, they just try to put their money in or swipe their card, and the machine obviously doesn't respond, so they just walk a few steps to try and get my attention. There is noise pollution from the casino, so I can't hear them and they have to come closer, which results in them getting even more frustrated. I then have to do the whole thing for them because once I am with them, they turn into toddlers who can't do anything. I have to put the cash and coins in. Sometimes they give me their card to swipe for them. I would never hand my card to a stranger like that. I find it so weird. This machine also has an issue the others don't. Sometimes it steals coins. Dollars are not an issue, just coins. It's like they stick in the tract. I have contacted the company many times, as it has even stolen my coins, but they have not fixed it. People get so mad at me before I knew this because all we can do is tell them to find the sticker on the machine with the contact info and reach out to the company to get a refund. After I saw the pattern that the machine steals coins, I have started to warn people not to use coins while I'm helping them because I'm not getting yelled at over this shit anymore. The next machine is over chips and candy. But this machine has no issues. It's an older style, so most of our guests know how to use it, and it has no record of stealing money. The final machine is a refrigerated sandwich and other microwavables and snacks with sliding plastic doors. I had never seen this type of machine before it was placed. People don't really know how to use this one. You have to use the arrow buttons left and right to line up what you want to buy with the center. It tells you the prices to the right, a spot on each row to list the price, and it changes as you turn the rows. Once you line it up, you pay cash or slide the card. Once it is ready, you pull on the door, and it will release the lock after a second or two. Then you just reach in with your other hand and grab it. This is too much dexterity for our guests, apparently, and I always have to do it for them. If they don't ask us to help, they try on their own and are too hasty with the lock, so it either locks again before they have a chance to grab it, or they are too slow and never even open it to begin with. They get charged anyway, so they always get really mad that it stole their money, when it's 100% their fault. Another major issue is people just shove bills into the machines that they don't accept. The machines only take 1s and 5s, and it is stated on every machine right above the dollar reader. But almost every single day I get an angry guest stomping up, saying the machine stole their $10 or $20 bill. I immediately tell them it doesn't take that denomination and grab a paperclip. Their money is always just shoved inside the dollar reader, and I use the paperclip to pry it out. We then have to use our drawer to give them change most of the time. Recently we had no change and had to send everyone to the cash cage in the casino. After they closed at 1 a.m., everyone who needed change couldn't get it, and they got so angry with us. I am telling you, there are times when we can't focus on our hotel work because guests think we are the vending machine help desk instead of hotel front desk. It's so frustrating, and I'm so tired of it. Maybe if I had started working here later and never experienced today, when there were no vending machines there, it wouldn't be so bad. But I know the peace I used to have not having to worry about these stupid machines that don't even belong to us. I want to tell people that we have nothing to do with the machines, but I know they would complain and my boss would get mad. So we just have to suffer through helping the stupidest people I have ever met. Because instead of learning how to use the machines, they just come to us instead because they're lazy. I just daydream about taking an axe to these machines, and it makes me feel a little better. I also forgot to mention how often people come and ask us for something long and thin to stick up into the machine if their item gets stuck. I always say no because if they break the machine, the hotel would be liable. I found out recently the 3 to 11 shift supervisor gives out a long unbent wire hanger, usually used to unlock the metal privacy bolt if it accidentally locks behind a guest when they leave, to guests so they can poke around inside. How stupid are you? Oh my fucking god. I can't believe she does that. I still tell them no, and tell them that she shouldn't be doing that either. I'm so over dealing with all these stupid little things that don't pertain to my actual position. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Coahw, episode 139. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Before you go, please do hit that like button. Yes, that's the sort of thing we like here. Other words. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, if you want early access to these videos, not a problem, easy enough to do. You can just support me on my Patreon page by clicking that link in the description, and it will take you right to it. You can support me there for as little as $1 or more a month. As I've always said, if I could get $1 a year from every subscriber, I wouldn't even have to run ads, but that's not too likely to happen. It is a nice little dream to think about, though. Oh yes, you'll also find a link to the Hellfreezer merchandise store, if you haven't got Hellfreezer merch yet. Update coming soon. I know I keep promising it, but in the next couple of weeks, stuff will happen. I'm going to update some old designs, possibly add some new ones. I think more themed ones, because, like Revenge's Ice Cream, I've got that one. More themed ones for the videos series I do. And if you really like today's video, you can leave a tip by poking that little heart with a $sign in the middle and selecting the tip of your preference. You don't have to do any of that though, but it does help a lot and I appreciate it. Okay, no other business today I don't think, so let's move right along to Hellfreezer's question of the day. And today's question comes from Newcomb on the Discord, and that is, those of you who work in delivery and that sort of thing, what's the weirdest thing you've seen on your route? Now, I can't answer this because I don't work in delivery. Well, I guess I deliver stories, but this is a very different kind of delivery. But I look forward to seeing any and all answers you care to share in a comment below. I actually suppose there's more people doing delivery now that the whole gig economy thing's on the rise. All different ways to do it. And before we go, let's have the answer of the day from a previous video. And this answer was in relation to, do you lock your doors when you're at home? This one surprised me because there was actually people who said they don't. Today's answer actually comes from Barbara Mentzer. And Barbara says, we live out in the country, doors never locked. Locks only keep out honest folk. Our dogs and self-defense tools are more of a deterrent than locks. Now, the only thing I would add to that is that locks also keep out murderers. Because generally serial killers also have self-defense tools, although they're probably a bit more on the offensive, to be fair on that one. But if it's working for you, Barbara, great. I hope it continues to work for you for many years to come. I don't live in the country, so I'm going to keep locking my doors, because evil. Anyway, I think that's about me for now, so I'm going to head off. Going to put these videos I just recorded together. There may be a snack at some point, and I think I'm having an omelette for dinner. You don't need to know that, just popped into my head. Omelette for dinner. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.